Hi, this is Trey Passer. Welcome to my review of The Boys, the Amazon original series based on the Garth Ennis uh, comic book. And this is this series that was on Amazon, and I think it came out at the end of July, I think July 26th. Anyway, it was 8 episodes, and I watched it, finished watching it, started watching it last Friday, finished watching it last Sunday. So I wanted to get my thoughts together before I did a review. This review is going to have spoilers in it because this show is just absolutely fantastic. And I want to talk about it without spoiling things because it's fantastic and I want to talk about things in depth. But basically, The Boys is about set in a universe where superpowered people are recognized as heroes by the general public. They're run by this corporation called the Vought International, okay, and it's made up of like 7 members called the Seven, okay, and there's they're out to the outside world. They're heroes. They protect the people and all that stuff, but when we get to know them, they're actually arrogant and corrupt. Okay, and but the title characters of this story, which is called The Boys, this is a group of heroes, or anti-heroes, I guess, led by Billy Butcher, who he despises superheroes, and he has a kind of a personal vendetta, which I'll get to in a minute. And he hates superpowered people, and the Seven in particular. Okay, and the Seven is led by a group named this particular guy named Homelander. He's like a mix of Captain America and Superman. He can super strength, he can fly, he has laser eyes and all that stuff, and he's like the world's greatest hero and stuff. But secretly he's egotistical and he's unstable because he was actually raised in a lab and not with a, he's kind of he wasn't raised with a mother and father. He was actually raised in a lab, and it's an experiment. So he's sort of secretly, outwardly he looks to be the perfect hero, but inwardly he's egotistical, he's corrupt, and has things going on the side that even Vought International doesn't know about. Okay, now Vought International is actually run, or I guess one of the presidents, or is Madeline Stillwell, played by Elizabeth Shue. She's like the I guess the head executive that kind of manages the Seven, and she's the one that makes sure they get out there and do their press things and do their superheroing and all that stuff. But also she has sort of a kind of a mother uh, sexual son kind of relationship with the Homelander character. Uh, you can tell because he didn't grow up with a mother and stuff. He's sort of fixated on Madeline Stillwell, and there's even moments in the show where you see him staring at a picture of himself when actuality he's actually looking through the wall because he has X-ray vision, and he's actually looking at her, staring at her, and she knows it. Okay, and she kind of uses his mother's fixation on him to get him in line when he doesn't want to do what she wants him to do, or what corporate wants him to do. She kind of uses that to get him to do what he wants to do. But like I said, he's an egotistical guy and corrupt. And into this mix, we get a new young lady named Annie January, or I think what they call her. What do they call her? It's not Sparkle. She's like the newest member to the Seven. Okay, and she's kind of a naive, never been to the big city type of girl. Okay, and she's new to the Seven, and she gets introduced to them. And of course, she finds out that they're pretty much not what she expected. That they're that they're assholes. Okay, and her first kind of interaction is with a character named the Deep, who's sort of like a knockoff Aquaman. And the Seven, also I didn't mention this, but the Seven are basically sort of a knockoff Justice League. Okay, Homelander like this is Superman. They have the other different characters that are sort of like knockoff versions of the Justice League. Like A-Train is like knockoff Flash. You have what's her name? What's her name? Queen Maeve, which is sort of she's like a knockoff Wonder Woman. Okay, you have these different characters that are just like basically, and Black Noir, which is sort of a who doesn't speak and is dressed all in black. So I guess in a way he's sort of like a knockoff Batman. Okay, so you have these different heroes, and she gets introduced to their world, and she finds out pretty quick that they're basically assholes, especially when she has a, she's introduced to the team by the deep, when he basically, sexually assaults her. Okay, so that's how she gets introduced to them, and then we have one of the main characters from the boys. We get introduced to the boys through one character named Huey Campbell, played by Jack Quaid. He basically has a girlfriend. He works in an electronics store, and one day while he's out walking with her and going to get ready to go to dinner, he literally is left holding her hands when A-Train speeds by and literally disintegrates her, and all he's left with is her hand. Literally, he's covered in her blood and carrying her hands. That's all that's left of her, because A-Train ran at such a high rate of speed that he literally disintegrated her. Okay, and of course, so Huey's mad and he wants revenge, and he doesn't want to settle. Okay, with the Vaughn Corporation until he runs into Billy Butcher, who kind of introduces himself as a Fed, okay, and tells him, listen, take the money, take the settlement. We need to get info on the seven. Okay, he tells him, listen, we know they're corrupt and stuff, and we need to kind of spy on them. So he kind of drafts Huey into the boys, so he can go up there and fake being forgiving A-Train and plant a bug so they can spy on the seven. Now this story is great. Like I said, let me introduce some of the other characters. You have Mother's Milk. He's sort of like the tech guy for the boys. We have Frenchie, who's sort of the I guess he's, well, not technically. I guess Frenchie would be the tech guy. I think Mother's Milk is sort of the muscle in a way, but although I think Billy Butcher's more of the muscle and stuff. I think Mother's Milk is there to try to basically calm everybody down. So I think that's why they call him Mother's Milk, but I could be wrong about that. So, but anyway, these characters, and we also get another character. They call her the female, but I think she has a name which I can't remember at the moment. Right now, she basically has, she's been experimented on. Okay, and in this universe, they have this compound, compound V, which is how the superheroes get their powers. To the outside world, they think that these superheroes are born, but in reality, we find out later that the superheroes are actually humans that get injected with this compound V, which actually gives them their superpowers. And the female, she gets actually rescued on a mission by Frenchie, who kind of sees her as a kindred spirit and kind of adopts her into the boys. Okay, so we have them, and basically we have boys basically trying to bring the seven down. Okay, that's what they're trying to. And like I said, Billy Butcher has a reason. Okay, and that reason is because his wife Becca, who used to work for the Vaughn Corporation, she was raped, according to him, by Homelander. Okay, she was raped by him, and she left, and he's beyond pissed, and he wants revenge. He hates supers, and particularly Homelander, who he really wants to get. Okay, so he sets about with a plan to try to get some of that compound V and bring down and bring this information to the Fed so they can bring down the Bond Corporation and bring down the seven. That's his whole goal. He wants revenge, and he wants, but more than revenge, he wants Homelander personally. You can tell he has a mad on for Homelander. He wants to kill him. Okay, and again, like I said, Huey gets drafted into this because he meets Annie January, the newest member of the Seven. He meets her actually one day in the park, and they sort of start this friendship up. And Billy Butcher says, "Listen, we can use this. That he has a sort of in with this new member of the Seven, so that he even has them like copy her phone, so they can listen in on any conversation that the Seven is having." And they set about, trying to bring down the Seven, get enough information so they can literally bring down the Seven. Okay, like I said, this story has a lot of twists and turns, a lot of fantastic moments in this show. Particularly, there's one moment that I'll just never forget, when Homelander and Queen Maeve basically, basically the whole Bond Corporation is trying to get the government to sign up superheroes for the military. That's not happening now, so they kind of do what they have to do to get try to get the government to let Bond International Corporation you know, let the superheroes come into the military, and they literally do whatever they have to do, whether it be blackmail. But there's one moment where Madeline sends off the Homelander and Maeve to rescue this hijacked plane, and when they find out, they rescue, easily they rescue the people on the plane. But then when they go in the cockpit to see there's one hijacker they didn't account for who basically kills the last pilot that's alive, and basically we know this plane is going down, and so and Queen Maeve, she has a conscience. She has even asked Homelander, listen, you know how to fly a plane, but listen, can't you just fly people down? Just come back. I think there's 150 people on the plane. She basically pleads with them, can you just fly, or can you direct the plane? And Homelander, which I think, like I said, he has the power of Superman. He could actually bring the plane down, but his arrogance doesn't want to do it. Okay, he doesn't really, so he's literally, they start walking off, like they're, and people sense that they're leaving them. Okay, and he literally threatens people that he'll laser them if they try to follow him. And even though Queen Maeve begs him, she even grabs her mother and daughter and tries to plead with him just to take these two, and he basically shuts that down and just says, listen, we got to go, and just grabs her, and they literally watch the plane with all these people, 150 people, sink into the ocean and die, and all those people on the plane die. And that's just some of the great moments that you see in the show. The show is just mind blowing. Okay, I mean, like I said, you have these superheroes that are assholes, and you have these anti-heroes, the boys, that will do what they have to do to try to bring them down. So they're not choir boys either, as well. And we even have the character A-Train. Like I said, he killed Huey's girlfriend. Okay, hopped up on Compound V, and he even has a girlfriend. And when she kind of compromises him to the boys, Homelander basically orders him to kill her. And even though he loves her, he does it because, like I say, he has that healthy fear of Homelander, and like I said, they're corrupt. So even though he loves her, he kills her. Okay, and which is just incredibly mind blowing. We know, like I said, Homelander has plans beyond Bond Corporation. Okay, he knows that they want them to get into the military, but he will do whatever he has to do so the Seven can stay on top. Okay, even if that means going around the Bond Corporation and doing whatever he has to do. Okay, and he does that. He's just an incredible character, and props to the actor Anthony Starr who plays Homelander. He plays him with that that phony veneer at front, and then but behind the scenes he's scary. He's really scary because, like I say, he's the power of Superman. He's corrupt and he's psychotic. Okay, and he's a complete narcissist and only cares about himself and the Seven to a lesser extent. Okay, everybody else is just basically cannon fodder to him. Okay, or people to be used. Okay, and again, this show is absolutely breathtaking, and they renewed it for season 2, so I can't wait to see what happens in season 2. And like I said, Billy Butcher, his whole goal in this is to kill Homelander. Okay, and towards the end of the series, like I said, after Huey, who's been, like I said, drafted into the boys, he kind of stands up to Billy Butcher and said, listen, I'm not going to be, I can't, you're taking this too far. I can't do this anymore. And he kind of walks away from Billy Butcher. Billy Butcher still has his mission to go, and he basically, goes into the Bond Corporation and straps Madeline Stillwell, the only thing that he thinks that Homelander cares about, straps her with a bunch of C4 on her, and his plan is to blow her up right in front of Homelander and kill him. And he does not care about anything. And of course, Homelander does something that I didn't see coming, but I guess we should have, because he does what he has to do, and he basically, like I said, Madeline Stillwell is the only person that we see in this series that he literally cares anything about. Okay, so but when it comes down to it, he literally fries her eyeballs out when he finds out she's keeping a secret from him, a secret that he didn't know. Okay, which I'll get to in a minute. Okay, he literally kills her in front of Billy Butcher, and so he doesn't have any more leverage. And Billy Butcher, he has the signal for the C4. He goes, oh well, and presses the button anyway to blow them up. But we don't see because it cuts from that when she hits the switch, and then we see Billy Butcher waking up in a yard in front of a house, and we see Homelander saying, I'm glad you woke up. You were out for a while." And he said, "We got something to show you." And he literally, Billy Butcher is, getting to it slowly, like, getting up off the ground, but he's still, sitting up. And when he sees a little kid come out of a house, okay, and you see Homelander approach the kid, and then we see a woman come out of the house, and we see it's Becca, Billy Butcher's wife, who he thought, ran off, or and there she is, and Homelander basically tells the kid, "Listen, champ, you know who I am?" And he says, "Yeah, you're Homelander." He said, "Well, I'm your father." Okay, and then we see that's Billy Butcher looks and he sees Becca, and then Becca looks at him, and he's stunned and surprised that because he thought she was gone, but she's alive and she had the kid. Okay, he thought, I guess, and I'm trying to think, remember if he knew that she got raped and she left. Later we find out that from Madeline Stillwell, she told Homelander that she that Becca died, and the kid that she had died as well. But we find out, I guess he finds out from the doctor who raised him in the lab that she's still alive and she has the kid. Okay, and that's why he killed Madeline Stillwell, because she lied to him about his kid being him having a kid, because he thought he was sterile, he couldn't have kids, but obviously he can, and there's his kid in front of him. But the main thing that this blew me away is that Billy Butcher, his wife there, is still alive. And I remember if he knew, because there's a moment where he goes to his sister and he's mad at her for doing a memorial, putting a headstone up, because he I get he wants to find his wife. She just disappeared, but he doesn't think she's dead. But so he doesn't. So he's mad at the sister. So, but he's stunned because he sees his wife there, and she had a kid, and she's alive. Okay, and he didn't know where she was for 8 years. So obviously, we got to find out. And I know a lot of people are wondering because they showed a clip of her. They showed this back, like 8 years ago when she was at a party with her husband Billy Butcher, and she introduced him to Homelander and stuff. And then we later see a videotape of her coming out of a conference room, apparently with Homelander, and she's like adjusting. You can tell that she's fixing her clothes. So we think that he attacked her. And of course, Billy Butcher thinks led to believe that his wife got raped. I know some people think that she didn't get raped, that she just fooled around with him, and she got pregnant and she went to the corporation and they decided to scurry her away and let her have the kid in secret. But some people think she just had an affair, but some people think she did get raped and she ran off. Okay, and I tend to believe that she did get raped, or at least Homelander took advantage of her. Yeah, well, he did rape. Rape. Right? What I mean is rape. I don't think she willingly had sex with him, because what they showed in the flashback, she obviously loved her husband. So I don't think she would fool around on her husband. Okay, but it's not like you're gonna say no to Homelander. Although Homelander kind of tells him, and I know in his arrogant way, that he didn't rape anybody, but maybe it was a thing where she was kind of forced to have sex with him because, let's face it, she can't. What's she gonna do to fight off Homelander? And maybe in his egotistical mind, that means, oh, she didn't push me off or anything because you're freaking Homelander. Okay, what is she gonna do to you? Like, is she gonna scratch you or hit you off? And you can overpower her. So I tend to think that she did get raped. Okay, and she's traumatized by that, and she went off. And when she discovered she was pregnant, and the corporation found out that she was pregnant, they told her, listen, you got one or two choices. You can go into hiding, okay, and have the kid, and we put you away, or you can tell your husband, of course, which will make it a big scandal and stuff. So they didn't want to do that part of it, okay, and they didn't want to do that. So, and she knows that the Vaughn Corporation has this incredible reach. So I'm sure she decided, even though she loved her husband, that the best thing is to to go off and leave him, and raise the kid and hope again. And it probably persuaded her that, listen, Homelander grew up without a mother, and look how he turned out. Listen, if you grew up and you raised this kid, he'll have a loving mother and stuff, and he'll be a decent person. He'll be a real hero. He won't be as corrupt as the real Homelander is. Okay, I'm sure they probably persuaded her that way. Okay, or like I said, so now, but unfortunately now that Homelander knows he has a kid, and the kid seemed excited to know him, that he's his father. Uh, that's why I can't wait to see season 2 and see what happens and see if if Homelander is going to be making regular visits to his son now that he knows it, and now that especially now Billy Butcher, like I said, his whole reason to is mad on was because he believes that Homelander raped his wife, and that's why she ran off, and he wanted revenge. And now that he finds out she's alive and had his Homelander's kid, that's going to be even more of a mind f to him. I don't think she's cucking him. I know a lot of people think, oh, she's just playing him and she just had an affair with Homelander. I don't think so. I think she loved her husband, and I think Homelander he raped her, and I don't mean the rape where you throw somebody down in the back of an alley or something like rape, but he forced himself on it because what can she do? That's Homelander. She can't really fight him off, so she just kind of accepted it, and of course that's why they showed a scene where she was like basically sitting on a park bench for like 3 hours, like with a stunned look on her face because this guy just violated her, and what can she do? She tells her husband he's going to go crazy and want revenge, and so she decided the lesser to her evils is to go to Devon Corporation and tell him, listen, Homelander raped me, and of course now I'm pregnant, and then of course Devon Corporation decided to cover it up, okay, and whisked her away, and she reluctantly agreed to do that, okay, even though it means leaving her husband Billy Butcher. So I'm definitely interested in seeing how that relationship, Becca and Billy Butcher, is going to go going forward, because he has the stunned look on his face, and props to to the actors in the show. Carl Urban, who played Billy Butcher, was just absolutely fantastic. And this Jack Quaid, who played Huey Campbell, the naive guy whose girlfriend got literally vanquished in front of him, who started the relationship with Annie January Starlight. Definitely really good. I didn't even know that's Dennis Quaid and what's his name, Meg Ryan's son. Okay, but he does look a little bit like Dennis Quaid. So, but anyway, Anthony Starr, who plays Homelander, definitely he was in a show called Banshee, who my friend used to tell me about a lot, but I never watched it. But now I think I want to go back and watch it now, because Anthony Starr's Homelander is absolutely fantastic. He's a perfect mix of arrogance and conceit and phony bravado and stuff. Just fantastic. Aaron Moretti as Annie January Starlight, aka the naive young superhero who joins the Seven. I thought she was fantastic as well. Dominic McGillett, who plays Queen Maeve, who's like the Wonder Woman type in this. I thought she was good because her character, like I said, she's conflicted, and she kind of hates what the Seven has become and stuff. And you see her have her moments of doubt and stuff with that. And Jesse T. Usher, who plays A-Train, again, his character again was involved in a lot of stuff. Like I said, he had the girlfriend that he ultimately had to kill on orders of Homelander. So we got to see him. We got to see his relationship with his brother as well. Okay, and we got to see the two other members of the boys, Laz Oslo as Mother's Milk, who was trying to balance being part of the boys and was trying to keep his wife in the dark about what they're doing. And then, of course, Frenchie, played by Tomer Capon, who was absolutely fantastic. Frenchie, I love that character, because when you first get introduced to him, you think he's this low-life character that can just that the Billy Butcher goes to get weapons and all that stuff. But he's more than that. Okay, he's the one that actually sees, the female, the character that's sort of like a female Wolverine in this character, who's been experimented on with Compound V and becomes part of the boys. He sees beyond her, and he's the one that actually risked everything to rescue her. So his character is a lot deeper than you think. Okay, and then like I said, the Deep, played by Chance Carford, this guy who used to be on Gossip Girl. His character goes through an evolution too, because he starts off as a dick in the beginning of the thing, being one of the person that actually literally sexually assaults Starlight, and then he gets sent off, and he kind of his character goes through an evolution, okay, of of a character. I think he has the most character growth in this. And Elizabeth Shue is Madeline Stillwell. Like I said, she's the exec who's in charge of the boys, not the boys, excuse me, of the seven. And she's the one that has to kind of massage Homelander's ego and stuff, and get A-Train to apologize and get all these different things in there and coordinate everything around. And at the same time, she has a kid that she's dealing with as well. And so I loved Elizabeth Shue in this. I thought she did a really good acting job in this. And I'm ashamed that her character got killed off in the last episode, so we won't see her in season 2. But we do have Giancarlo Esposito. We saw him in the last episode. He was kind of giving her a promotion, saying that she's going to go to the 82nd floor, I guess, where all the executives are. So I'm assuming that his character, now that Madeline Stillwell's dead, is going to have a bigger role. And will he get the 7 under control, which I think will happen. And I think they got to have kind of some kind of fail-safe for the superheroes, where they can control, where he has to get Homelander in line, because he basically was using Compound V to actually create terrorists, super terrorists, so they can get drafted, so that the military would draft him to stop these super terrorists. Okay, so hopefully in season 2 we'll get more of these super terrorists that Homelander was secretly creating. We'll get more of Giancarlo Esposito, his character, the exec, or maybe he'll get somebody else to come and fill Madeline Stillwell's role of controlling the 7. And then, of course, I want to see what happens with Billy Butcher and his wife Becca. Now that he knows she's that she's alive and she's with a kid, okay, Homelander's kid, okay, and of course the relationship between Huey and Annie January, aka Starlight, that she basically, she actually, once she found out that Huey was actually kind of using her and she was mad at him and stuff, and she actually came around to save him when what's his name? Excuse me. When A-Train was going to try to kill him, because A-Train was kind of blaming him for him having to kill his girlfriend, which is, I know it's backward logic, but he's kind of blaming him because if he didn't, start all this stuff, get his girl to spy on them, to spy on them, they would have, he wouldn't have had to kill her. Yeah, but anyway, I think, again, some things I'm looking forward. Those are the things I'm looking forward to in season 2. Okay, the Deke, will he, because he got sent off to like the middle of nowhere, and will he come back at the end of the season? He shaved off all his body hair. Okay, let's see if he'll come back, a different person. And will Maeve stand up finally to Homelander? Okay, will Homelander come even more psychotic, or will he get put in his place by the new Madeline Stillwell, or whatever character that is? Okay, so we got a lot of questions to see what's going to happen in season 2, and like I said, they're filming season 2 now, so we'll see what happens with it. And I think it's going to come out next year sometime, hopefully early next year. So we'll see what happens to season 2. I'm looking forward to it. Anyway, let me know what you think of The Boys. Have you seen it? What do you think of it? I'm sorry this video was pretty long, but I wanted to talk about everything in this, and I absolutely love this show. This show was absolutely fantastic. 8 episodes, just the right amount, just the right length, no filler episodes to me. Okay, and I would definitely give The Boys, I'll give The Boys an 8.5. I really, really enjoyed it a lot, and I definitely recommend it. Anyway, let me know what you think of The Boys. What do you think of it? Feel free to leave comments down below. If you like this review, please hit the subscribe button down below. I have links to my Facebook, my Twitter, my Instagram. I also have a link to my other channel, Paul Views and Opinions. Please check that out as well. And this is Trey Pastor saying so long and take care.